Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute yoga sequence that's designed for your back, particularly for your low back. And those of you who may be experiencing any low back pain or generally any kind of chronic back pain might particularly like this sequence as it is designed to release stress from your low back and your entire back. So, to get started, please come to your mat and lie down on your back. And as you lie down on the mat, bend your knees and bring your knees toward the chest. Placing your hands over your shins, just take a moment here to notice where you are and how you feel in the back. Relax the back of your shoulders toward the mat. And allow the back of your head gently rest on the mat. Breathing naturally here. And with every exhale, see if you can release your back toward the mat. And releasing any unwanted tension in the shoulders and in your face. As you remain in this position, with your eyes open or closed, just take a moment to notice how you're breathing. Breathe as naturally as you can. And breathing through the nostrils if that's possible. Then with your next inhale, gently release your arms and bring your arms in the shape of the letter T on the floor. Allow the back of the shoulders to also release toward the mat. Continue keeping your knees toward the chest. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, lower your knees to your right side. Allow your knees to come into contact with the floor. And if you like, allow your head to roll to the left. If you notice that your shoulders have started to move away from the mat, maybe you want to place a pillow or a book or a yoga block underneath your knees so that your shoulders can return to the mat. As you stay in this position, gradually begin to lengthen each breath. Every time you inhale, let your inhale become a little bit longer. And every time you exhale, let your exhale last a little bit longer. Deepening each breath comfortably. And if you notice that your breathing is forceful or has become forceful, simply return to normal breathing. Then at the end of your next exhale, return to normal breathing. Then gently return your knees back toward the chest. Take an inhale here, draw the knees in the direction of your chest. And this time as you exhale, lower your knees to your left side toward the floor as you let your head roll to the right, if that feels right for your neck. Relax the back of the shoulders down toward the mat. And again, if you notice that your shoulders, especially your right shoulder, has moved away from the mat, place a pillow or a bolster underneath your legs, bringing the floor a little bit higher up. Take a moment to first notice any differences between this position and the previous one. And then slowly begin to lengthen each breath. Pay particular attention to the length of your exhales. We often rush through our exhales. So just take a moment here to consciously lengthen both inhale and exhale. Then at the end of your next exhale, please return to normal breathing. And then gently return your knees toward the chest. And then go ahead and lower your feet to the mat. Keep your knees bent and have your feet be hips distant apart. Place your arms by your side, palms open, shoulders relaxed. From here, we're going to enter the pelvic tilt pose. So with your next inhale, go ahead and press your low back gently toward the mat. In this way, your low back and your sacrum comes into contact with the mat. Continue keeping your entire back in contact with the mat. Breathe naturally here. And relax your jaw. Relax your tongue, your entire mouth. And then go ahead and release, allowing your low back to gently move away from the mat, returning to its natural pose. We'll do this 2 more times. So again, when you're ready, go ahead and press your low back toward the mat. Let it come into contact with the mat. As you continue keeping your back anchored to the mat, relax your shoulders, relax your arms, your face, and breathe naturally. And then release. Let your low back move away from the mat. One last time, when you're ready, again, go ahead and gently press your low back toward the mat. Noticing how you feel in the back, and particularly noticing any sensations anywhere in your back that you may be experiencing right now. And notice these sensations, these feelings, objectively, without forming any judgment. And release. So allow your low back to move away from the mat. If this feels right to you, feel free to do this a couple of more times at your own pace. Otherwise, bring your knees toward the chest and then come to your right side. You can use your arm as a pillow underneath your head as you remain for a brief moment on your side. Notice where you are, how you feel, how you're breathing. And then gently press the floor away with your hand. As you come to a seated position, remove your socks if you haven't done that already, and then come to your hands and knees. Keeping your shoulders above your wrists and keeping your knees right under your hips. Take a look at your hands, spread your fingers here. As we get ready for the cat and cow pose, warming up the spine. With an inhale, go ahead and lift up your tailbone, arching the back, looking up. As you exhale, go ahead and round your back, relax your head and neck. Inhale, arch the back and look up. Exhale, round your back and draw in the abdominal area towards your spine. Inhale, arch the back and look up, opening the front of the neck. Exhale, round your back, relax your head and neck and gently press your hands toward the mat. One more time. Inhale and exhale, round your back. Now return your back to a neutral tabletop position. Walk your knees away from your hands a little bit. And then from here, with your shoulders over the wrists, stretch out the legs behind you, coming into plank position. Then gently bend the knees, press the floor away, downward dog. We're just gonna spend a brief moment in downward dog here. Take time here to walk your dog, bending the right knee as you lower the left heel, and then bending the left knee as you lower your right heel. Gaze toward the feet. Make sure you don't see your heels. And feel free to bend your knees here as much as you need to as you send your hips toward the back of the room. And once you've had a chance to walk your dog, bend the knees a little bit more and begin walking your feet in the direction of your hands. Coming into standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Feet hips distant apart. Bend the knees and allow your entire upper body to release toward the mat. Relax your arms. Your head and neck are completely relaxed. Your forehead is in the direction of your knees. then go ahead and bend your knees a little bit more. And then slowly begin to roll the body up into standing. Take your time as you come up. And as always, let your shoulders, neck and head be the last parts of your body that come into standing. As you come into standing, take a look at your feet. Make sure they are hips distant apart. Inside edges of your feet are parallel with each other. Lift up your toes, spread them in the air, and then gently lower them toward the mat. Activate your leg muscles by gently pulling up all the leg muscles toward the hips, allowing the quadriceps to become engaged. And then go ahead and actively press the center of your heels toward the mat. Tadasana, mountain pose. Arms are by your sides, palms open toward the front of the room. Spread your fingers here, back of the neck long, gaze is forward. Breathing naturally and keeping the attention of your mind on the breath. Then go ahead and relax your arms here, relax your shoulders. We're going to come into modified chair pose. So your feet remain hips distant apart. Gently go ahead and bend your knees here until your knees cover your toes so that you no longer can see your toes. Keep your back long here, tailbone slightly tucked in toward the floor. And then from here, reach your arms forward. Keep your arms parallel with each other. Your fingertips are pointing forward. Spread your hands here. Spread your fingers here. A very gentle chair pose. No need to go any deeper than this. But if you like, you can always bend your knees a little bit more, lowering your tailbone slightly more toward the floor. However, always make sure that you're tucking the tailbone toward the floor. Now, for those of you who are staying in modified chair pose with knees only covering the toes, you notice that you can hold this pose a little bit longer and perhaps a little bit more comfortably than the unmodified chair pose. So stay here. Notice what's happening in your thighs, how you feel in your knees. Notice your back. How do you feel in your back? Then with your next inhale, go ahead and straighten your legs and lower your arms by your sides. Just take a moment here to shake out your legs. And then get ready for modified crescent moon. Feet are still hips distant apart, just like the previous position. Now activate your leg muscles. Your quadriceps are engaged. Lift up your arms toward the ceiling. Hold on to your left wrist with your right hand. Take an inhale. Lengthen your body toward the ceiling. As you exhale, gently bring your arms to the right as you send your left hip to the left. Gently pull on the wrist of your left hand, creating space on the left side of your rib cage. See if you can breathe into that space. Then with your next inhale, gently come back up. Switch hands, so you're holding on to your right wrist with your left hand. Inhale, lengthen the entire body toward the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your arms this time to the left, send your right hip to the right. Gently pull on the wrist of your right hand. With your next inhale, return to a standing position, arms toward the ceiling. Exhale, lower your hands in front of your heart. Now from here, we're going to come into child pose. So come to your hands and knees, open your knees as wide as the mat. And then bring your big toes in contact as you lower your tailbone in the direction of your feet. Extend your arms toward the top line of the mat and allow your elbows and forehead to gently rest on the mat. With an exhale, relax your low back towards your feet. And take a moment here to check in with yourself, with your breath, and especially with your back, to notice how you feel. Then from here, this position, we're going to come onto our belly. So gently lift yourself up and lower your entire front of the body toward the mat, so you're lying on your stomach. Bring your forehead or chin to the mat, extend the arms by your sides, palms toward the floor. Legs behind you together as if you have one leg. Gently press the tops of your feet onto the mat, allowing your knees to move away from the mat. Then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift up your legs, only the legs, away from the mat. As you do that, again, keep your legs together. Relax the arms, relax the face. See if you can lift up your thighs away from the mat, perhaps even 1 millimeter if that's possible. Taking one more breath here. Then as you exhale, lower your legs to the mat. Keep them together. We'll do the same thing, but this time with the upper body. So with your next breath, go ahead and lift up your head, shoulders, upper chest, and your arms away from the mat, looking forward. Keep your legs on the mat, tops of the feet gently pressing against the mat. With your next inhale, lift up your chest a little bit more. If you like, you can look up. And then as you exhale, gently lower the upper body toward the mat, forehead or chin on the mat. Now as you keep your legs active and together, with your next inhale, lift up your legs and the upper body away from the mat, coming into locust position. Lightly press your pubic bone into the mat to create more space in the low back area. And as you do this, try to keep your legs together, chest up and open, looking in the direction of the ceiling. Keep your attention on your breath. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. One more breath here. As you exhale, gently lower your body to the mat. Bring the right ear to the mat. Let your heels move away. Arms by your sides, palms open. With your eyes open or closed, draw the attention to your body and notice what's happening at this moment, how you feel, what you feel, and again, without forming any judgment. Then gently return your chin or forehead to the mat. Bring your hands and arms in cobra position, legs parallel behind you. Gently tuck the toes. Press the floor away with your hands and come into child pose. Again, lower your tailbone towards your feet, extending the arms toward the top line of the mat or next to your legs if that feels more comfortable, and placing down your forehead gently. Notice how you feel in your back. Then from child pose, we're going to come into a seated position. And then we're going to come and lie down on our back on the mat. If you want to put on your socks or an extra layer, feel free to do that right now. And then come and lie down on your back. As you do that, again, bring the knees toward the chest. Giving yourself a hug here, placing your hands over your shins. Back of the head gently rests on the mat. Feel free to roll the body a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, massaging your back. And then bringing your hands and arms in cactus position or in the shape of the letter T on the floor. Knees together toward the chest. Gently lower your knees to the right side. Let your knees come into contact with the floor. A gentle twist. And let your head roll to the left here if that feels right on the neck. Then gently return the knees back toward the chest. And then lower them this time to the left side as you let your head roll to the right. Back of the shoulders are relaxed toward the mat. With your next inhale, return the knees toward the chest, giving yourself a hug here again. With an inhale, bring your forehead in the direction of your knees. Exhale, return your head to the mat. Take a moment here to thank yourself for making time to come to your mat, for making time for yourself, for your body, and for your mind. And then gently lower your feet to the mat. As we enter the reclining cobbler pose, with your knees bent, bring the bottom of your feet together, allowing the knees to be wide open. If you have pillows or books or blocks or even two bolsters, feel free to place them between the floor and the sides of your thighs to give yourself a little bit of a support here if you need that. We want to make sure that there is no strain on the knees, on the thighs, and that you're comfortable in this position. Now allow your knees to be relaxed, letting go of any tension you may be holding on to in your legs, especially in your thighs. And let the gravity to gently pull the knees toward the floor. Arms by your sides, palms open toward the ceiling. Go ahead and close your eyes. Now for the final position, feel free to remain in the reclining cobbler position for the next few minutes. If you need to come out of this pose at any time, use your hands to close your legs. And then lower the legs to the mat, coming into Shavasana. Or if you're ready for Shavasana, feel free to bring your knees together with the help of your hands. Lower the legs to the mat. Keep your legs a little bit wider than your hips apart. And then let your legs roll away from each other, keeping them completely relaxed. Relax your arms, your hands, your fingers. And as you exhale, allow the back of your shoulders release toward the mat. Relax your back. Allow the floor, allow your mat to support you completely. And soften your chest as you relax your abdominal area. Then bring your attention to your legs, to your feet, to your toes, keeping them completely relaxed. And as your entire body begins to relax toward the mat, remember your face. Release any tension from the face, from your jaw, from your lips. Breathe naturally with the attention of your mind on the breath. Observing each breath carefully. Every time you inhale, notice how the air enters your nostrils, how it travels through each nostril. Notice the natural pause at the end of your inhale And then as you exhale, follow the air as it leaves your nostrils. Now for the next few minutes, try to keep your body free of movement as much as you can and your mind focused on your breath for as much as you can. If you're distracted by any thought, just take a moment to notice what you're thinking about, acknowledge it, and then let go of it and invite your mind to come back to the breath. Slowly begin to lengthen each breath and gently begin to move your fingers and toes, slowly waking yourself up. And then with your next inhale, lift up your arms, bring them over your head toward the floor, lengthening your entire body one more time. And then gently return the arms to your sides. Now for those of you who are in the reclining cobbler pose, use your hands to close your knees. If you like, you can lower your legs and come into Shavasana, maybe for another minute or two. Otherwise, bring the knees toward the chest and then gently come to your right side. Then Then press the floor away and come to a seated position. Then bring your hands together in front of your heart. As always, may your practice bring happiness to you and to those around you. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for sharing your practice with each other and with me. Wishing you a great day, a great evening, a great morning, whenever you are watching this video. And yes, we will keep you posted. We will publish more videos and audio files for you. And enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.